think this is working. Cool. So this is just a little, I don't know. I've just been wanting to share my thoughts lately, and I have been getting really good at writing them out. But usually I honestly keep them to myself, or I put them in my little private Twitter, or share them with my friends. But I realized that I'm like, I have a day and I feel like a lot of things that I kind of go through every day, I'm only sharing with like a few people, actually can help change some lives. So this is just a quick little, thoughts uninhibited chat to talk about blocking your blessings. And if you are blocking your blessings. So one of the things that I'm really grateful that I have is the ability of self-awareness. And also, if someone is telling me something about myself, instead of becoming offended, I try to learn and see, like, from their perspective, why would they imagine me in that way, right? Obviously, like, I don't, we're not talking about, listening to everything everybody says, but if someone's that you care about has mentioned something about you, it's kind of helpful to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I am being like that or whatever. So anyways, I've also been talking about learning skills, because lately I've been getting a lot of people that come up to me and they're just like, I don't know how to do this and it's really hard and I don't know how, and I tried and it doesn't really work. And what I've learned is that they haven't actually really tried to do the thing that they want to do. They've only tried a few times, expecting the most amazing results, and didn't get it and then gave up, right? So a lot of us want to have all the things, but we don't want to do all the work, do the work to get the things that we want, right? So I had to look at my own self and realize that I was actually kind of doing that as well. So I've been trying to learn something for about a little over a year now, that I've been really trying to master this skill. And because I was like, you know what, I need to learn how to do this. I know this is going to elevate me and take me to the next level. But it is literally, now that I talk about it, it's literally been a year that I've been trying to learn how to master this skill. And so I said, all right, well, I would try to learn a little bit about it and then go and try it. And it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, got to keep going. So anytime I would get stuck, I would end up buying a course to help me understand how to do this skill. And I would get really frustrated because every single time I bought a course, it was like they were saying the same thing on how to do this skill. And so I'm like, okay, why do I keep buying courses? And like, why do they keep saying the same thing? Like, this is so frustrating. Like, what's the answer? What's the answer? How do I actually learn this? Because then I take it, I'm like, okay, they're saying the same thing. I try their way, which really is not much different than the other way, and then go and put it out and it's not working. Meanwhile, though, I'm still going. I haven't given up. Like I said, it's been a year. So recently I just bought another course. So I've spent thousands of dollars trying to learn this skill and a lot of time. But I know that this skill is very important to me. And I'm not, I just don't have an I give up type of personality. So I'm taking this new course. I finally there's a bug and I do not like that. Come on now, get out of here. What are you doing? Got it. Ew, that's disgusting. Ugh. So I start this new course and I'm like, okay, cool. Off to a great start. I got a special notebook for this or whatever. Then I get to the part that I'm trying to learn, the skill that I'm trying to learn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the same thing like the other courses that I bought. And I spent $2,500 on this. And so I'm like super irritated. This is yesterday, and I'm super irritated and I'm super frustrated. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, what the heck? That was my angle. That was my perspective on it. I was like, I literally already like learned this not necessarily learned it, but got this information 5 or 6 times ago. So I was like, you know what? I need to take a break. I need to go out, get some fresh air, take a walk, because I can't solve a problem from a problem mind. So I get up and I go and I take a walk. And when I tell you that the epiphanies and the clarity bombs dropped on my head during this walk, and granted, I do have a really amazing friend who she holds space for me to allow me to figure my thoughts out. But in summary, I bought all these courses that were telling me the same thing, yet I still hadn't learned the skill. And I have this mindset where whenever I'm trying to learn something, I will go and try to listen to it from like 10 different angles so that I can find the principles and the fundamental, information. And then everyone, has their secret sauce on how they do it, right? So like what are the basics of running ads? What are the basics of copywriting, right? And then everybody kind of has then their like strategies and tactics on how to do it. So instead of looking at these 5 and 6 courses being like they're saying the same thing and these are actually the principles and the foundation, I just kind of took it as like, oh my gosh, they're just saying the same thing over again and like show me the answer, right? Because it wasn't necessarily yielding the results that I wanted. Even though I didn't give up, I kept going. It just wasn't giving me the results that I wanted. So I had a kind of a poor attitude around it. So I went into the course. I mean, once I got to that lesson, I kind of went into it. I was like, ugh, I already know this stuff. Like, oh my gosh. Like, so I kind of had this very closed-minded, know-it-all type of attitude, right? But outwardly, who I want to become, right? What I set the intention to become is someone who is constantly always learning, constantly evolving. So even and what hit me too, yeah, and I'm telling you, God really sends you all the signs. So what hit me yesterday too is I was in a challenge and this guy was like, I've taken this challenge 6 times. So clearly he goes into the challenge every single time with brand new, eyes wide open, expecting to learn something new versus, oh, I've heard this before. Right? Because how many times do you go over something again and it like really sinks in? So I had just had that experience, like hearing him say that. So then I go into this training that I'm trying to do, but I have my eyes closed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like I'm irritated. Like I just spent money. I had a really kind of poor mindset around it. Yet I'm, teaching people, hey, you got to learn how to do a skill. Yet I am missing the whole point that if these 5 or 6 people who are multimillionaires, okay, I'm not talking about like a few $1,000,000, they're sitting on 10, 20, 50, 60 million dollars, are literally using, some of them even 100, the same principles, and they're all saying the same thing. You are the one that's missing something. You are the one that's coming in like a know-it-all with a closed mind, and clearly you haven't learned how to do this one thing that everyone else has learned how to do that's elevating them to the next level. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I didn't know that I was doing that because, and this is why I say, are you blocking your blessings? Because every single time when I was trying to learn this skill, which I know is going to take my life to a physical next level, I would pray and I would ask God to show me the signs. He would then, in some roundabout way, send me that course, that first course that I bought, the second, the third, the fourth. Because he's like, okay, you want the answer. So here is, kind of just how you like it. You like to learn things. Here's a course. Here's another course for you to buy, right? Because he was showing me the first time that that's the answer to what it is I've been trying to do. But because I had these grandiose expectations, because I feel like I'm really smart. I feel like I'm really smart. I'm really talented. I love my brain. I love who I am. But I was allowing that to hold me back because when I have great expectations. My expectations are to succeed, but I didn't give the respect of learning a new skill the proper respect, right? Like just how like I will not be able to do 100 pull-ups if I tried right now, right? I don't think that I suck and I'm not amazing. I still think I'm amazing. I just know that there are things that I have to do to learn how to achieve 100 pull-ups. I wasn't applying that same thing to the skill that I was trying to learn. I just assumed that I was going to immediately be good at it out the gate, which sometimes that happens in some scenarios and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then you have to continue to have eyes wide open and to, teach yourself and absorb the information. So God's sending me this blessing in this first course. I don't get it. He sends it the second time, the third time, the fifth, the sixth time, I finally get it. And I'm like, Oh, Terry, you're contradicting yourself. You're contradicting your intentions. Your intention is to go and to learn and to be, a student, but you're going into this material with a know-it-all attitude, which is blocking you from learning and achieving this concept because of the experiences that I had in the beginning of not getting it right. So I was allowing that not getting it right identity to carry over into all of the new stuff, because every time I keep asking God for a sign on how to master this skill, he keeps sending me the same thing. And because I couldn't see it at the time, I kept complaining and I kept shutting myself off more and more and more, expecting that the next thing that he sent me, it's going to be the different answer. And I was also praying for the light bulb to go off, to like, come on, Derry, like, what is it going on? And that is exactly what it was. I was blocking my own blessings. He was giving me the answers. I was going into it with a poor attitude. I was contradicting myself. And I was willing to do the work to have the things that I wanted, but I hadn't yet become the person, right? The person that I say that I want to be a student, I want to learn, yet my actions contradicted that. So that was where I had to course correct. So that all fell on me yesterday. And I was just like, wow. Because I was literally like, they are all saying the same thing. How many times can I learn this? And now I'm just like, okay, you know what? I need to go back now with eyes wide open and not just try to like 2x everything and rush everything. And like, I think it's because also too, I'm just so excited. There's so many things that I want to learn. There's so many things that I want to do. I super value my time freedom. Time freedom is so important to me because I love learning and I love doing stuff. But just like how I would learn how to transform my body physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, I have to apply that same principle of respect the process. Some things I'm going to get right out the gate, and some things are going to just take some more trying, learning, growing. So today, when I went back, and also yesterday too, but I was a little bit tired yesterday. So today when I went back and I listened to one of the lessons that I had kind of skimmed through before, because I was like, yeah, I kind of already know this. I slowed down and listened to it. I literally heard it in such a transformative, different way. I was like, holy crap. I didn't know you were saying this the first time. I had no idea this is like what you were saying. And it blew my mind. And it was confirmation of kind of my whole experience over the last 24 hours was that I was blocking my blessings. I had to course correct who I wanted to become. And then I needed to now take action on this new version of who I wanted to become. And so taking action and rewatching it and getting that sort of new epiphany was the confirmation that this whole experience of self-awareness was correct, that I was correct, that I felt stuck. I prayed for the answer. I got the clarity. I held myself accountable. I took action, and I was rewarded for that action with more clarity and a sharper mindset. So that's why I say self-awareness is key, because it helps you understand if you are actually blocking your blessings. And I have been blocking this blessing for a year. Okay. Because I am just like, I am so talented. I'm so this, and that. Like, why am I not like physically like moving forward? Right. The inside of me is amazing. The inside of me is happy and beautiful and bright. And so I'm ready for that inside to now manifest into the physical. But it's those tiny little details of the things that you're not aware of that you're doing that are holding you back. So I am just so grateful that I was able to take a step back. So I would say this, so something to take away from this. If you are stuck and you are, constantly trying to tackle the same situation that you're in, whether you're trying to learn something or you're trying to get out of something, it doesn't really matter. Take some time to reflect and go back and ask yourself, any time that you felt like you got the answer for what it is because you might not be in the situation that you want to be, but you keep praying for the answer and then you receive it. So go back and reflect on how many times you've received the answer, even though you're still feeling stuck, and see if there's any sort of commonality between the answers that you've gotten. Because more than likely, God has been sending us the answer over and over again, and sometimes in the same freaking package or different ways until you get it, and we're not able to see it. So he literally sent me 6 courses that I've spent thousands of dollars on to be like, you asked me the first time and I sent it to you, but you went in with a closed mind. So now I had to send it to you 5 more times and thousands of more dollars later until you finally got it. So that's why I was like, holy crap. I was like, okay. So now I was like, let me go back. Let me wipe the slate clean and go back through all of these courses with a fresh, open mind. Like, I don't know nothing. Okay. So that's why I say, if there's anything that you've been really, 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 really trying to work on, go think about all the times that you felt like God has given you the answer, even though you are still not in the place you want to be. Find those commonalities, because that's probably where your answer is. And it's so crazy because now I'm just so excited to kind of go back and figure out and like have that epiphany to be like, oh my gosh, it's working. Okay. So yeah, I've been working on this skill for over a year. I have been trying to finally get back to the sort of the beginning place. And that's okay, because this is how you level up. This is how the journey happens. And I will keep you posted. I will let you know as soon as I master this skill and learn it and speak it into existence. Okay, so hopefully this helps. This was just some thoughts that I wanted to share. I tried to do a little room, but honestly, I could not figure out how to do that. So I'm going to have to go watch how to do that on YouTube. And maybe I'll come back a little bit later today or tomorrow. Um, and I want to talk about the 4 tips to stay focused and easily achieve your goals. So it's kind of some of the things that I've been doing that have been really helping me and hopefully will help you. So yeah, this was just random, sort of impromptu. If you have any comments on this, you want to chat about it, you want to just chop it up, then definitely drop a comment. I will save this into the guide. I'll create a new little mindset, thoughts uninhibited section. And happy Wednesday, and cheers to big leaps, and cheers to clarity, and cheers to epiphanies.